Entire sectors quake at the destructive wrath of a Chaos invasion. Orchestrating these massacres are the corrupted demigods known as Chaos Space Marines. They descend on the domains of the Emperor of Mankind with a fury like no other. And while the focus always falls on these superhuman warriors, behind every traitor marine is a whole lot of mortal servants of the dark powers. From beastmen to cultists, each Chaos Space Marine warband commands thousands of psychopathic killers, ready to butcher in the name of their patron god. Amongst the legions of the archenemy, the Thousand Sons Traitor Legion are the most meticulous and decisive of the enemies of the Emperor. These traitors call upon the disciples of Tzeentch to bolster the ranks of their armies. Amongst these warriors is a sect of human sorcerers that have devoted themselves entirely to Tzeentch and his heretical Astartes. They're known as Thrall Wizards. And with that said, I want to welcome you guys back to another 40 Facts about the 40K universe. I am your host, Gersh1, and today we're going to be talking about Tzeentch and his disciples as we get into, obviously, the Thrall Wizards. If you guys are new to the channel, we post Warhammer 40K lore videos every single day, so if you have any suggestions or questions, comment down below. I'll try to answer them for you down in the comment section below, or I'll create a video for you. And if you guys enjoy our content, thank our patrons on Patreon. It is because of them that we can do this. Link in the description if you guys want to support us. It's just $1 a month. If not, just by liking, commenting, and sharing, it really helps out the channel. But with that said, let's get into 40 facts on the Thrall Wizards. When the Thousand Sons first arrived on the planet of the Sorcerers, after being saved by the Chaos God Tzeentch from the Battle of Prospero, where the Space Wolves desecrated their planet, the frustrated Space Marines found themselves on a demon world, exuding potential, as warp energy flowed from every crater like a cascading waterfall. But unlike their former home, the planet of the Sorcerers was devoid of any sentient life. The few psychically powerful servants that assisted the Thousand Sons inside their capital of Tisca were the only non-Astarte life on the planet. Magnus and his warrior scholars depended on the teeming populations that existed on Prospero, not just as Legion serfs, but also a recruitment source. If the Thousand Sons were to rebuild their tattered legion, they would need a significant native population to draw from, and so the heretical Astartes ventured out into real space in order to acquire minions and slaves, thus cultivating a new culture on their demon world. Over the 10,000 years since their arrival on the planet of the Sorcerers, their raids throughout the galaxy led to the creation of a substantial human population on this demon world. From the tribal human warbands that exist away from the Thousand Sun cities, to the mortal servant class within their sorceress towers, these humans form a crucial part of the Thousand Sons Legion. The most talented and gifted of the human stock were allowed to obtain a deeper understanding of the ebb and flow of warp energies. This created a caste of psychically trained potent sorcerers, not as strong as the Thousand Sons themselves, but still capable of manipulating the powers of the warp. On occasion, some of these young servant psychers broke free and fled into the hostile lands beyond the Thousand Sons Tower. They joined the various nomadic warbands, and inevitably, these runaways rose through the ranks of the tribes and became mortal champions of chaos. Once they had proven themselves amongst the wilds of the planet of the Sorcerers, these champions were recruited back to serve the Thousand Sons as more than just mere menials. They became Thrall Wizards. Thrall Wizards are taught how to perform the simplest magical feats as part of the first step of becoming a fully fledged Tzeentchian wizard. While apprenticed in this way, they are placed under the direct command of a Thrall champion who has already tread a similar path and has rose through the ranks of the ordinary Thrall Wizards. Once the Thousand Sons embark on a chaotic crusade into real space, these apprentices fight for their Thrall champions and use their psychic sorceries to support them. In this way, these apprentices begin a journey that may see them rise in time to become a Thrall champion in their own right, or even ascend to the immortal heights of a demon prince of Tzeentch. However, it's important to note that many more will fail in this ambitious attempt, and they will devolve into chaos spawns, to the amusement of their patron god Tzeentch. Even those that are not damned for all eternity as chaos spawns can still fall to the mind-altering effects of chaos. Because of the constant exposure to the etheric powers of the warp, Thrall Wizards are haunted by the prospect of eventually succumbing to insanity. They must endure the honeyed whispers of mind-numbing truths, the visions of Tzeentch's realm, while at the same time making deals with demonic denizens of the Immaterium. As their knowledge grows, the threat of going insane becomes ever more apparent to both their teachers and the Thousand Sons themselves. At any time, a Chaos Space Marine will not hesitate to end the life of a Thrall Wizard that seems a bit too enamored with its control of the energies of the warp. Those whose minds are kept in check by their drive to expand their influence and knowledge become deadly sorcerers, capable of besting even the greatest of the Imperium's warriors. On the battlefield, a Thrall Wizard will almost always be spotted aboard a demon engine known as the Silver Tower of Tzeentch. Silver Towers are an outlandish sight on any battlefield, appearing as a cluster of intricately carved and curved towers, resting upon a circular island, topped with slender minarets of gold and bronze. Each silver tower is subtly different in its creation, yet all are disturbingly beautiful, with fine snouts of strange, magically powered weapons studding forth from their walls. The most disturbing aspect of a silver tower, however, is that they are not landlocked vehicles, but drift gently through the skies above the battlefield. Each tower contains a dozen Tzeentchian Thrall Wizards, who all focus their powers to rain magical destruction upon the foes of their masters. Surprisingly, the Thrall Wizards don't control the tower itself, as it is controlled by a trapped demon of Tzeentch. The Thrall Wizards only control the weapon systems of the Silver Towers. With their ability to manipulate the warp, the wizards can fire beams of pure warp energy at their targets. Each Silver Tower is usually armed with at least one single turret-mounted power weapon, which serves as the tower's primary offensive weapon. It is powerful enough to engage and destroy enemy armored vehicles. The tower is also armed with several other turret-mounted weapons, known as bolts of change. The exact number of secondary cannons mounted on the construct are unknown, though the number may simply be different from one silver tower to the next, as befitting the randomness of Tzeentch. It's important to keep in mind that although the Thrall Wizard serves as a support piece for the Thousand Suns and the Demons of Tzeentch, they are still highly powerful psychers, capable of slaughtering entire regiments, or even taking down armored foes with their sorcerous powers. The servants of Tzeentch are not to be underestimated. And those were 40 facts on the Thrall Wizards. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's always fun to talk about the lore of a model or a unit that you don't really see on the tabletop anymore. This is not really part of the core structure of the Thousand Suns or Tzeentchian demons and stuff like that. The towers are, which is kind of cool, and the Thrall Wizards are accompanied because of that. But in reality, the Thrall Wizards is a carryover from like Warhammer Fantasy, and how everything was being carried over to like the sci-fi aspect of it. And you could use Thrall Wizards in 40K just like you can use any sorcerer of fantasy in 40K. So it's fun to go back and read the lore and see where like it still fits within the sci-fi or science fantasy aspect of Warhammer 40K. That's the beauty of the fact that you have the warp. It's the unexplainable magic source, basically. If you guys have suggestions for any other topics, if you guys would like me to explain anything about the 40K universe, just ask down in the comment section below, and I'll either answer there or create a video for you guys. But yeah, thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. This was Gershwin with One Mind Syndicate signing out.
Oh, I used to put my freedom first in any